Hello and welcome to this video. In this lecture, we are going to learn about text fields in Android so that we can get inputs from the user of the app. So go ahead and open the Hello World application project. Next, go ahead and open the activity underline main.xml. So now I'm gonna add a text field to our layout. So let me first just make this button a little bit smaller. I'm gonna just drag it here a little bit. So next I'm gonna set the layout height and the layout width of this button to be wrap content. So the layout width is already wrap content, but the layout height is hard coded here. I'm gonna change it to wrap content. So you can see that we have specified a padding value for this button, and that doesn't allow us to decrease the height of this button. So I'm going to go ahead and delete the value of this padding attribute. So now the button is back to its original size. Now I'm going to go ahead and drag a text field to our relative layout. So inside this palette section, click on this text tab and then select this plain text, and I'm going to drag it here below this text field. So now I'm going to select this edit text. You can see that we have the ID, layout, width, and other attributes that are shared with other UI components. But there are also some attributes that are specific to an edit text. For example, we can specify a hint value for this edit text. So let's go ahead and find the hint attribute here. So if you can't find it here, we can just always search for an attribute. Just type in here hint. And then I'm going to type in here, please enter your name. ... And you cannot see the hint value here because it has a text here, name. So we need to find the text attribute and delete the text. So here it is the name. I'm going to delete it. Now we can see the hint attribute, the hint value. Please enter your name. So an edit text is something that the user can enter a value. So now I'm gonna, for example, ask the user to enter his or her name, and we are going to output the name to the logs. So that's easy. First, we need to also specify an ID for this edit text. So the ID is going to be EDT and name, EDT name. Press and enter key on your keyboard. So next, let's go back to our Java file main activity. And then here, let's go inside this onCreate method. So we want the user to enter the name. So let me run the application first so that we can see the updated layout because we added an edit text. So here we want the user to enter the name, and when the user has entered the name, then the user clicks on this button, click me. After the user clicks on this button, we want to get the value of this edit text and output it to the logs. So how we are going to do it? First, we need to go inside this button is clicked function. So when this button is clicked function is executed, or when the user clicks on this button, then this function button is clicked is executed. So first, let's go ahead and comment out these 2 lines of code because we do not need them anymore. And then we need to have a reference to our edit text. So it is going to be edit text, and the name is going to be EDT name. You can name it whatever you want, but I'm going to just name it the same way as I named it for the ID attribute. So I'm going to type in here find view by ID or .id dot EDT name. Semicolon. Next, we are going to get the name and output it to the logs. So I'm going to say log.I. First, we need to specify the tag. So the tag, I'm going to type in here name in uppercase letters, comma, and then EDT name dot get text dot to a string. So the get text method returns a value of type editable. It is not string exactly. So that's why we need to convert it to a string value and make sure to put a semicolon at the end of your statement. Now we can go ahead and run the app. So for example, if I enter my name here, I'm gonna go ahead and click on click me. We should now go to the logcat, and here inside this search area, I'm gonna type in here name, the name of the tag. So here it is, my name outputted in the log statement. So you can see that it is working perfectly. Now it's the challenge time. So I want you to go ahead and add an edit text to the layout, and this time ask for the user phone number. But here where it gets a little bit challenging, the user should only see a keyboard that contains numbers, not characters. The user is not allowed to enter characters inside this text field or edit text. The user should only see numbers keyboard here. So you need to go ahead and do some search online, and then you will find the answer there so that you can add this functionality to your application. So the user enters a phone number here, and then the user clicks on this click me button. This value, this phone number, should be outputted inside the log area. That's your challenge. So go ahead, give it a go, and make sure to put your best efforts into this challenge in order to solve it, and then continue watching this video and see how I am going to solve this challenge. Good luck. So let's go ahead and switch to the text tab because I want to design the layout in XML code. And then here below this edit text, I am going to add another edit text. So I'm going to type in here edit text, and the layout width is going to be match parent. The layout height is wrap content. Next, let's give it an ID. So just type in here ID Android :ID equal 2 quotes. And here, if you want to specify an ID in XML code for a UI component, you need to put @ plus ID slash. After the slash, you're going to specify the ID. So the ID is going to be EDT phone number. Okay. Next, you can see that we need to also specify a hint attribute. So I'm going to type in here hint. So the hint value is going to be please enter your phone number. ... So here you can see inside this preview area, our edit text is at the top. I want this edit text to be below of this edit text that says please enter your name. So I'm going to type in here below. So layout below, and I'm going to refer to the ID of this edit text, please enter your name. So I'm going to type in here @ plus ID slash, and the ID is going to be EDT name. So now our edit text is below this please enter your name edit text because of this line of code. So layout below this EDT name ID. So in this way, we are positioning our edit text. We can also specify a top margin. If you like, you can add it here. So I think that's good. Now we can go into our Java file, mainActivity.java. I have already commented out the other lines of code inside this button is clicked function, and I'm gonna create a reference to our edit text. So EDT phone number, find view by ID, r.id dot EDT phone number. Next, we need to log this value to the logcat. So I'm going to type in here log.I. The tag this time is going to be phone number. So I'm going to type it here in capital letters. And the value is EDT phone number. So it is in lowercase letters. EDT phone number dot get text dot toString. So now I'm gonna click on this please enter your phone number edit text, but here it is the problem. We are seeing characters on the keyboard. We should only see numbers. So let's go back to Android Studio, open the activity under line.xml. For this edit text, we need to add another attribute that is called input type. So the input type, you can see that we can enter date, date time. You can see we can enter number, number decimal, number password, phone, text. We can add lots of values to our edit text. And if for each type, for each input type, it's gonna show the user a specific keyboard. So for example, we have text password, text person name, and lots of other types. So we are interested in the phone, and then I'm gonna run it again. So if I click on this edit text, you can see only the numbers here. And by the way, if you want to change this value and you want to see the other values, you need to hold down the control key on your keyboard and then press on the space key on your keyboard in order to see the other values. So control space on Windows and command space on Mac. So let me choose the phone again. So let me show you that if I enter a number here and if I click on click me, now we should go to Android Studio Logcat. So here it is the value that is outputted here, phone number as the tag, and here it is the number that you can see. In the next video, we are going to show some messages to the user, something that is called toast messages. So I look forward to seeing you in the next tutorial.